Imagine a plane so fast and versatile that it could outrun the very fighters sent to shoot it down. A plane made mostly of wood, earning it the nickname the Wooden Wonder. This aircraft wasn't just an engineering marvel, it became a game-changer in one of history's most pivotal conflicts. Welcome to the story of the de Havilland DH-98 Mosquito, the fastest bomber of World War II. At a time when heavy armored bombers dominated the skies, the Mosquito broke the mold. It wasn't built to carry loads of guns or to rely on sheer strength. Instead, its secret weapon was speed. Capable of reaching up to 415 miles per hour, this wooden bomber could fly faster than many of the top fighter planes of its day. It challenged the idea of what a bomber could be, proving that agility and innovation could outmatch brute force. But how did this unique aircraft come to life? Why was it made of wood when metal seemed like the obvious choice? And how did it change the course of the war? In today's video, we'll explore how the DH-98 Mosquito became a legend, not just for its record-breaking speed, but for its ability to turn the tide in countless missions. We'll dig into its design, its daring operations, and its lasting impact on aviation history. So join us as we learn about the fastest bomber in World War II. The story of the de Havilland 98 Mosquito begins with an innovative idea that defied conventional military thinking. In the late 1930s, as tensions grew in Europe, aircraft designers at de Havilland proposed a bold plan to build a bomber that would rely on speed and agility rather than heavy armament and armor. This was a radical departure from the heavily armed bombers of the time, like the B-17 Flying Fortress, which relied on defensive guns and a robust build to survive enemy attacks. The Mosquito's designers, led by Geoffrey de Havilland, believed that a fast aircraft could simply outrun enemy fighters, avoiding the need for heavy weaponry. They decided to make the plane as lightweight as possible, but with a war effort demanding metal for other military needs, they turned to an unconventional material, wood. This choice would earn the Mosquito its famous nickname, the Wooden Wonder. Using wood was not only resourceful, but also highly practical. The Mosquito's frame was crafted from a combination of lightweight yet strong woods like birch and balsa. These materials were glued together in a process called plywood lamination, which made the structure both durable and easy to produce. The wooden airframe also had the advantage of absorbing vibrations, which improved flight stability and made it harder for radar to detect. At the heart of the Mosquito's incredible performance were its two Rolls-Royce Merlin engines. These powerful engines were also used in the legendary Spitfire fighter planes, providing the Mosquito with exceptional speed and climb rate. The engines, combined with a lightweight frame, allowed the aircraft to reach speeds of up to 415 miles per hour, making it one of the fastest planes of its time. The Mosquito's design also emphasized simplicity and efficiency. Its crew consisted of just two people, a pilot and a navigator, helping to reduce weight and complexity. Unlike other bombers, the Mosquito didn't rely on defensive machine guns or a large crew. Instead, its sleek aerodynamic shape allowed it to cut through the skies with minimal drag. Another remarkable aspect of the Mosquito's development was its adaptability. It was initially designed as an unarmed bomber, but its versatility quickly became evident. Engineers modified the Mosquito for a variety of roles, including reconnaissance, fighter-bomber missions, and even as a night fighter equipped with radar. This flexibility made it invaluable to the Allied forces during World War II. At the time, most bombers were known for their heavy armor and slow, steady flight. Bombers like the B-17 Flying Fortress or the Henkel 111 could carry large payloads but weren't particularly fast. They often needed fighter escorts to protect them from enemy aircraft. But the Mosquito changed that. Its speed was its defense. The aircraft could outrun enemy fighters and reach targets faster than anyone expected. The Mosquito's top speed wasn't just a number on paper, it had a real advantage in combat. Because it was so fast, it could perform hit-and-run missions. This meant that it could strike at enemy targets and be gone before the enemy had time to react. Whether it was bombing a heavily defended target or conducting a reconnaissance mission, the Mosquito could get in and out quickly. Its speed also allowed it to avoid enemy interceptors who might have been able to catch slower bombers. This made it an extremely effective tool for the Allied forces, especially in high-risk missions where every second counted. The speed of the Mosquito also played a key role in its ability to outrun enemy radar. Most bombers would get picked up on radar well before reaching their target, giving the enemy time to scramble fighters. But the Mosquito could slip past radar systems, especially at night, and strike with little warning. This made it a highly effective weapon for nighttime raids and strategic bombing campaigns. What's even more impressive is that the speed was achieved despite the Mosquito's wooden construction. In the early stages of its design, many military leaders were skeptical of a bomber made from wood. They thought it would be too fragile or too slow. But the Mosquito proved them wrong. Its lightweight wooden frame was not just durable, but allowed it to be much faster than other bombers of the same size. To put the Mosquito's speed into perspective, imagine driving a car at 415 miles per hour on an open highway. That's faster than most cars can go, and it's the kind of speed that would make it incredibly hard to catch. The Mosquito was an aircraft version of that, outpacing enemy fighters while delivering bombs with precision. This record-breaking speed made the Mosquito one of the most feared aircraft of its time, and it remains a symbol of innovation in aviation history. One of the most remarkable qualities of the de Havilland 98 Mosquito was its versatility. Though it started out as a lightweight bomber, its design allowed it to perform a variety of missions that made it a key asset to the Allied forces during World War II. This ability to adapt to different roles helped the Mosquito become one of the most effective aircraft in the conflict, and its impact extended well beyond just bombing runs. The Mosquito's primary role was as a bomber, but not just any bomber. Unlike other bombers of the time, such as the B-17 Flying Fortress or the Lancaster, the Mosquito was not built to carry large payloads or to fly in massive formations. Instead, it was designed for precision. With its lightweight wooden frame and high speed, the Mosquito could dive into enemy territory, drop its bombs with incredible accuracy, and quickly escape before enemy fighters had time to respond. One of the most famous bombing missions carried out by the Mosquito was Operation Jericho in 1944. This mission aimed to destroy the walls of a prison in Amiens, France, to free Allied prisoners of war. The Mosquito's speed and agility allowed it to fly low and fast, evading German radar and anti-aircraft fire while carrying out a precise strike. The success of this mission was proof of the Mosquito's ability to perform intricate bombing runs with little risk compared to other bombers. This role was vital in missions that required pinpoint accuracy, such as hitting specific infrastructure targets like bridges, factories, or even enemy supply lines. While the Mosquito was a bomber, its speed and agility also made it ideal for reconnaissance missions. The aircraft was quickly adapted to carry cameras and other equipment that allowed it to gather valuable intelligence. Pilots could fly at high speeds over enemy territory, capture photographs that would provide crucial information about German positions, troop movements, and supply depots. Because the Mosquito was so fast, it could fly deep into enemy territory and gather intelligence without being easily detected. These reconnaissance missions helped shape many Allied operations, as the intelligence gathered was often used to plan attacks or disrupt enemy strategies. The Mosquito's ability to deliver high-quality reconnaissance photos meant it was a key asset in planning major offensives, especially as the war in Europe shifted in favor of the Allies. The Mosquito played a crucial role in gathering intelligence that ultimately helped the Allies achieve victory. Now, the Mosquito wasn't limited to just bombing or reconnaissance. It was also used as a fighter bomber, an aircraft capable of attacking ground targets with rockets or cannons. The fighter bomber variant was equipped with bombs, machine guns, and even 60-pound rockets. This allowed it to carry out ground attack missions, where it could strafe enemy positions or destroy armored vehicles, even if they were heavily protected. One of the most notable uses of the fighter bomber Mosquito was during the D-Day landings in 1944. Mosquitoes were used to attack German positions along the beaches, helping to clear a path for the Allied troops landing on the coast of Normandy. The Allies' ability to carry out precision ground attacks, along with its speed and maneuverability, made it an essential part of the ground assault. The Mosquito was also used to destroy enemy transportation networks, including trains and supply trucks. Its high speed allowed it to launch surprise attacks, hitting targets before the enemy had time to react. This made it one of the most effective weapons in the Allies' arsenal during the war. However, as the war progressed, the Mosquito was constantly adapted to meet the changing needs of the Allied forces. It was used in various roles, from nighttime raids to long-range daylight missions. Its flexibility allowed it to stay relevant throughout the war, and it could be easily modified for different kinds of missions. For example, the Mosquito was adapted to carry out night bombing raids, where its speed and stealth made it difficult to detect. Now, before we go on to talk about the challenges and controversies that came with this innovative concept, take a moment to like this video, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. While the de Havilland Mosquito is remembered for its speed and versatility, it wasn't without its challenges and controversies during its development and use. In fact, when de Havilland first proposed the idea of building a bomber made primarily of wood, many people in the British military were doubtful. During World War II, most bombers were made of metal, which was considered stronger and more reliable than wood. Critics thought that a wooden bomber would be too fragile to withstand the rigors of combat. They also worried that it would lack the speed, durability, and firepower necessary to succeed in real missions. However, the designers at de Havilland had a different vision. They focused on creating a lightweight bomber that could fly fast and evade enemy fighters, rather than relying on heavy armor and weapons. The plane's construction using wood was a necessity at the time, given the shortage of metals during the war. The wooden airframe made the Mosquito light, fast, and inexpensive to produce, but it also came with some drawbacks. One of the major challenges with the Mosquito was its vulnerability. While it was fast, it wasn't heavily armored like some other bombers. This made it more susceptible to enemy fire, especially during bombing runs or when it was being used for reconnaissance missions. The Mosquito was designed to be fast enough to outrun enemy interceptors, but this didn't always guarantee its safety. It had minimal defensive armament, relying mostly on its speed to avoid attacks. In addition, maintaining wooden aircraft was tricky, especially in hot and humid climates. The wooden airframe required careful maintenance to avoid deterioration from moisture, rot, or insect damage. It was particularly problematic for pilots operating in areas like the jungles of Southeast Asia, where humidity and insects could damage the planes faster than expected. The Mosquito also faced challenges in being used in certain regions. While it was successful in Europe, its effectiveness in tropical regions was limited. The humid conditions in places like the Pacific or parts of Africa led to more wear and tear on the wooden planes than expected. This meant that Mosquito units had to be maintained more carefully in these areas, limiting their use compared to other bombers that were better suited for harsh environments. Despite these challenges, the de Havilland 98 Mosquito proved itself to be one of the most important and successful aircraft of World War II, showing that sometimes the most unconventional ideas can lead to the greatest successes. The de Havilland 98 Mosquito had a huge impact on World War II, thanks to its incredible speed, versatility, and the way it changed how bombers were used in combat. It wasn't just a fast bomber, it was a symbol of innovation. The Mosquito's light wood frame and twin engines made it capable of performing many roles, from bombing missions to reconnaissance and even ground attacks. This adaptability made it a game-changer for the Allied forces. Beyond its military use, the Mosquito also had a lasting impact on aviation. Its success proved that speed and versatility could be combined in a bomber, which influenced the design of future aircraft. It showed that even with limited resources, like the wooden airframe, it was possible to create a fast and effective warplane. Even after the war, the Mosquito left a legacy in both aviation and military history. It was used by several countries and even played a role in civilian roles after World War II, like passenger transport and cargo hauling. Its reputation for being a reliable and capable aircraft lasted long after the war ended. Today, the Mosquito is remembered not just for its performance, but for its role in shaping modern bomber and reconnaissance strategies. It was a reminder that sometimes the most unconventional ideas can lead to the greatest innovations. In conclusion, the de Havilland 98 Mosquito was much more than just the fastest bomber of World War II. It was a groundbreaking aircraft that pushed the boundaries of what was possible during wartime aviation. Whether it was precision bombing, reconnaissance, or ground attack, the Mosquito excelled where many others failed. After the war, the legacy of the Mosquito lived on. It influenced how future aircraft were designed, especially with regard to speed and adaptability. Although it was eventually phased out, its impact on both military aviation and aircraft design was undeniable. The Mosquito became a symbol of resilience and innovation, proving that sometimes the most unconventional ideas are the ones that change the world. So, when we look back at the de Havilland 98 Mosquito, we see not just a bomber, but a symbol of creative thinking, teamwork, and the power of innovation. It's a reminder that even the most unlikely of heroes can emerge in the most challenging times. What do you think was the most impressive feature of the Mosquito? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And with that, we've come to the end of today's video. If you love this and would like to learn more from the top channel on everything aircraft, do subscribe. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.